More than 5.7 million people around the world have tested positive for COVID-19. Sufficient to say, the pandemic has turned the lives of people upside down. Around the world, people have been under some form of lockdown for the past few months. They had to adjust, make a number of lifestyle changes and follow rules to keep themselves and their loved ones safe. But what about those who made the rules? Who is keeping them in check? Are world leaders practicing what they have been preaching all this while? Let's find out.
While you have been isolating yourself at home, wearing masks in public and using the available resources judiciously, did you check how your leaders are following the social distancing guidelines? Are they wearing masks and washing their hands as religiously as you do? Well, we have, and if you haven't, this report is for you. United States has recorded the most number of COVID-19 deaths than any other country in the world. 2 of the US President's aides have tested positive for COVID-19. But looks like President Trump will not cover his face in public, come what may. Donald Trump recently visited a factory in Michigan. Despite a warning from the state's top law enforcement officer, Trump refused to wear a mask.
Could you just take us through your thought process of why you decided not to wear a mask?
Well, I had one on before. I wore one in this back area, but I didn't want to give the press the pleasure of seeing it. But no, where I had it in the back area, I did put a mask on.
Did you have the goggles on too as well, sir?
I did. I had goggles and a mask right back there.
Well, why would you not be
And here's another one.
Why would you not be wearing it?
Because in this area,
why would you not be wearing it here, sir?
Not necessary here. Well, everybody's been tested, and I've been tested. In fact, I was tested this morning, so it's not necessary.
Thank you very much.
Trump walked away with a mask in his hand, but not on his face. Vice President Mike Pence, who is leading the task force to fight COVID-19, was also seen without a face cover. He was recently at a Star Cafe in Georgia, where he dined with the local governor. He stood close to people with no face shield. Trump and Pence are not the only leaders who are bending the rules to suit their whims and fancies. UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson's close aide, Dominic Cummings, has not set a good example either. At a time when UK authorities had announced a lockdown due to COVID-19, Mr. Cummings drove 260 miles from London to Durham. He then took a 60-mile round trip from Durham to a nearby town on his wife's birthday. At a recent press conference, Cummings narrated his side of the story and said that he didn't regret his action. Blaming the outrage on untrue media reports, he added that what he did was in exceptional circumstances.
I knew what the guidance was. It talks about exceptional circumstances with small children, and I think that in all the circumstances I behaved reasonably and legally, as I said.
Meanwhile, Russian President Vladimir Putin has also been careless in his conduct amid COVID-19 outbreak. Putin was recently seen at a hospital in Moscow without mask or gloves. In fact, he was shaking hands with a head doctor who had been treating COVID-19 patients. Later, the doctor himself tested positive for the virus. The Russian president held several offline meetings where no official was seen adhering to any safety measure. The only time Putin wore a protective gear in public was on the 24th of March when he visited a top hospital in Moscow. Puerto Rico Governor Wanda Vazquez has been criticized time and again for not wearing a mask. She has been holding conferences ordering people to cover their face outside their homes and at work. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.